today? How are you feeling? What is it that you feel right now? Just tune in with me together. Just feel this moment in time where you are here, watching, listening to the video, but also here inside of yourself. Whatever uncomfortability that you feel in your body, or what kind of emotions you are feeling, just allowing all of that to be here right now. Just take all of life in. Taking a deep breath. We cannot do that enough. Taking really deep breaths. Because sometimes it can become so overwhelming, all the feelings, all what life is bringing to us, inside, outside. It can become sometimes really intense. And I wanted to come back to, I did a video about high sensitivity and how, sometimes that can be really challenging in this life, and that it also at the same time is such a gift. And I shared a little bit about my story and how, sometimes I needed to make really difficult choices. And I can understand that some people are still kind of like, but how can you do that, Like as a mother, leaving, so it seems, your child. I would never be able to do that. And I so much understand, where some people coming from when they express that. And trust me, I got a lot of that. And that even was, that was part of my huge lesson of, okay, people are going to tell me all sorts of things. They have their, meaning, they put their meaning and their opinion upon, what my life choices, about my life choices. But it's really hard to understand, when you are not in this body. And the same is for, for you, for me to understand you fully. We can tell people like, oh, I would never be able to do that, or yeah, of course, I would, think that I would never be able to do that either. And yet life pushed me into a direction that I didn't have any choice. I was already kind of not being able to be available for my daughter when I was feeling really bad. I couldn't do anything anymore. I couldn't take care of her. So what I needed to do is take care of myself first, in order then to, to provide, whatever I can give. But if I do not take care of myself first, it's impossible. And I got to the extreme of it, of course, and I know that not a lot of people will need to go to that kind of extreme. And some people, you know, that are high sensitive are able to live maybe in a city, or are able to, you know, live in a country like Belgium or Netherlands, or, you know, where it's cold, where there's not a lot of sun, where, you know, you are not to be able to swim all year round in the waters, right? Because it's really cold. I have, you know, I have Indonesian roots. Some of you maybe know. My father's from Indonesia, so I have already kind of like, he was born on an island, on a tropical island in Indonesia, and so I have this kind of tropical blood, let's say, and I just love the tropics. I love the warmth. It just makes me thrive. It just makes me feel alive so much. And I'm still kind of compromising at this moment because I'm in Europe, because I still want to be close to my daughter, but it's okay. There's, you know, there's still a lot of sun, there's a lot of nature around here. I can even swim still. It's November and now it's December, and it's, you know, it's still, you know, possible for me to have a swim. And I'm here outside, and it's a beautiful weather, the sun is out, and I can feel how that nurtures me so much. And when I'm in the tropics, it's even more that I'm feeling, it's just that limitless abundance of beauty, of nature, of everything. And we have a bit of a sound coming on the background. Yeah, they're still working here on the olive trees. But you know, I wanted to express something, because when you feel that your body is giving all kinds of signals to you and you are not listening, it's so painful. If we are going to pretend every time that, yeah, I can do this, I'm okay, you know, or pretend to, you know, not feel sensitive at all, like we are toughen ourselves up, like, okay, we just have to be strong and we have to just, you know, go and do this because I need to do this for my children, or I need to do this for this, or for other people, or for whoever, and we are toughening up and we're like, okay, you know. And trust me, I tried so much to do that. And I, you know, also with my work, I was working already very young because I hated school. And at the age of 16, I was working, and I worked for several years, and I got, in the end, it was getting so painful. My body was in so much pain. I cannot even explain. There was so much going on. And at some point, I just was standing there, I remember, and I was crying. I just was crying. I was just, what am I doing here? I'm not supposed to be here. It's not, you know, I just couldn't. And then I went back to school because I didn't know how to provide for myself, how to do all, you know, so I went back to school. I was studying for a social worker. Yep, I wanted to know more about people, about psychology, about, you know, all these kind of things. And I did that, and then I worked in a psychiatry also for 1.5 years, and then I was like, okay, this is really not, you know, for me. And it was also again coming to the point of nope. Every time I bumped into walls, And the last job that I did was in the beginning of my 20s. And I tried again. I was like, yeah, but I need to somehow fit in, right? I need to make money. How I'm gonna survive here otherwise? And that's how the system works here. So I have to just go along with all this. So yeah, and then I tried again, and 2 years, I think not even 2 years, I worked there. It was an organic shop, and it was just like terrible. In the end, I was like, I cannot work. I cannot be in this building. I cannot be surrounded all day with sounds and people and this closeness and and yeah, it was just like hitting again a wall, and it just, you feel that inner conflict of, but how else I'm gonna do all this, you know, how I'm gonna live. And many times in this period between my 14 and my 22, I had many times that I just wanted to just not live. I wanted to go. I didn't belong here. I didn't feel like I could belong, you know, in this world. I felt so different. I felt like I was struggling so much to fit in, to belong here on this planet. It was so difficult, and it was really, really painful so many times that I just was like, I want to check out. I'm just going, you know. I'm not supposed to be here. It was a mistake, you know. And I can so imagine that so many people that are high sensitive sometimes just feel like that. Just feel like, what am I doing here? I'm just trying to kind of fit in here, but it's just like, I can't. I'm wired differently. My brain works differently. And I came to some weeks ago about this word neurodivergent, and I was like, it attracted me, my attention, and now this thing that is coming here is also attracting my attention. Just pause. I got distracted by a really noisy tractor. So yeah, neurodivergent. I was like, what is that? And I got curious because it was from someone that I've been following for a while, and she was expressing that it was really difficult for her to be self-employed and to make things work for herself, and that she had, you know, that she had ADHD and probably also autism, and so her brain was just working completely different. And somehow I always kind of ignored these kind of labels because I just felt like I don't want to be put in a box. You know, and people make such stereotypes also about, you know, people that have autism. I had this idea of, you know, because I worked with people that had autism, but it was a mix of many different mental disorders, and then also I had this idea of ADHD, that these were people that were always hyperactive. And so I started to research, and I was so surprised what I saw. Like, wow, okay, this is completely not what I thought it was. And I recognized so many things. So while I was researching all of that, it made so much sense. Going to my past experiences, I was like, of course. And although I knew that, somehow I knew that already, it was just like a confirmation of, yeah, you know, people with ADHD, with autism, their characteristics, so many things that they have, that they experience, how they experience life and everything, it's just like, that's me. Everything. And of course you cannot even each person with autism or ADHD or any kind of, you know, in that spectrum of neurodivergence, is different. I mean, you know, again, some people with ADHD are able to work in a normal job. They they can, you know, live in different countries. That doesn't matter. You know, I'm just giving my examples that were really intense for me. The experience that I couldn't, you know, live in a certain country. I couldn't do certain types of jobs. It was really like, okay, I got just really pushed by life. Like, okay, you cannot do this. Just don't try even. And it's super painful if you keep on trying. It just doesn't work. You are just going against the stream, and you are hurting yourself so much when you do that. And sometimes we are not even aware of that. We are just doing that just because we think that's the right thing to do. But in the end, and for some even, you know, I can imagine that for some they can go for a long time, and yet it's so unhealthy. It's so, you're not, you know, you're living half your life basically. You are not able to be fully yourself. And even for me now to research more about this, about how sensitivity, about ADHD, about autism, neurodivergence, it's just like, it just allows me to even be more myself. Like, yeah, it's okay, you know. And maybe all this is just, you know, I can imagine that people with this condition, because I don't think it's a disorder at all, although it's called, yeah. My storage got was full again. So I was just saying that it's oh god, it's not a disorder. It's a condition that we have, and it's just a natural kind of response to a world that is kind of upside down. You know, we are, it seems like we are so much going against the stream when we try to, you know, fit in. But that's, you know, it is also like that. It just feels like, no, it shouldn't be actually like this. You know, like, no, it should be actually like this. And I feel like these people are coming here to bring balance. And it's actually, oh, I'm getting again distracted. I'm really bad at focusing, by the way. And I'm really bad at making short videos. And to make it very short. And you know, it's like also this thing like, oh, on YouTube you need to make short videos because expansion. Yeah, so okay, I have 5 minutes and then my storage is full. Oh my god, I get so nervous when I have this kind of pressure. I feel really like so I was just saying, I was again cut because my storage is full, and I try to delete pictures and videos and then I can start again. But I was saying that I have really difficulty to, you know, to be concentrated and focused on things. And yeah, sometimes it's really challenging to work with this kind of different brain that people like this have. And yeah, it's just for me really fascinating to dive into this and to really acknowledge these differences, you know. But everybody is different, but this is a group of people, a type of people that really function differently. And I do believe that that is because there needs to be some kind of balance here. We bring balance into this world, and so it's not for us to go with you know, everybody's doing. We actually need to, and how difficult that also is, we need to really embrace our gift and own who we are, and not diminish ourselves. We have so much to give. And yeah, just, I guess that's really what I feel like is so important for me to acknowledge even more. And also for people that are watching this and feel like, yeah, I'm struggling so much with this. How am I able to, you know, live peacefully with knowing that so many other things out there are just really feeling like is just going against my nature, and to find that kind of balance. And we find moments where it's easier, and we find moments where it's just like, fuck, how I'm gonna do all this, you know, to provide for myself, you know, to be already over 20 years I'm self-employed. I don't have a job, and it's really not easy. I'm under earning already for a long time, and yet I find myself every time entrusting in life more. Like, okay, you know, it just, even though it seems like I'm not, you know, having an abundance of money, it's still like I'm here, you know, everything is going. And every time I fall into this kind of surrender of, okay, I trust that it's gonna be okay, I just need to follow this. So that was almost 5 minutes now. I'm gonna leave you guys. I love you all. Take care of yourselves.